Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. PepperBelly here, and do not be fooled. Do not let the cheap animations, the cheap visuals, and the overall dull look cloud your judgment of what you are currently seeing. Because underneath it all, underneath the cheap animations, the dull and cheapness of the looks and everything not polished, lies a great idea with a lot of potential. And that game is Verdun. A World War I shooter that takes place in World War I. I mean, come on. There's not many games like that, right? It's gonna be good. You gotta play it. You have to buy the beta, and you have to play it and see for yourself that this hidden gem is on the market right now. And it's going to be grand, okay? It's a solid game. So, yes, I'm going to get into this now because I'm actually in love with this game, considering how small it is and how great it is for what it is. This game is being developed by 3 people. 3 people! Alright? 3 individuals who are taking the time out of their day to develop an awesome World War I based shooter. God, it's so great. I don't even know how to explain it. It's fantastic, and I'm looking forward to the actual release of this title. And I can't wait to share my opinion with all of you and tell you about this game that is truly a hidden gem. So, without trying to talk up this game and give it so much praise that you guys are going to go in here with high expectations, I'm going to make this realistic and tell you exactly what this game is and what it has to offer. So, it's a World War I shooter, it's trench warfare, it's very basic, it's very simplistic, but it offers some pretty neat game mechanics and game types that make it fun to play the game. It's very basic, down to its core. There's not much complications in it. It's not like you're going to be going into this game expecting like some really in-depth customization for your characters or your weapons or anything like that. It's very simple, but it's very, very, very well put together, in my opinion. This is my opinion. Do not, take my opinion with a grain of salt because I'm just some guy on the internet. But basically, holy shit. So, let's start with the game types. Now they have deathmatch, not team deathmatch. It's simply deathmatch, which is just like a free-for-all, which is what you are watching right now. This is me going online, killing people in deathmatch. And essentially what it is just everybody goes into free-for-all, and it's only bolt-action rifles. So there is no fancy, I wouldn't say perks, because this game doesn't have perks. But there's no, well, it does have perks, but they're not exactly what you would assume. They're not like what you would think when you hear the word perk. You're thinking perks like, Call of Duty, like, I can shoot from the hip more accurately, or stopping power, shit like that. It's not that. The perks are very much related to what you would actually have in real life, which is nice. But this is deathmatch, so it's just completely stock. You got nothing else going for you other than a bolt-action rifle and your fucking reflexes, which is so awesome. It reminds me of the days I used to play Call of Duty 2 with my good friend all the time, split screen. Running around with bolt-actions free-for-all, just me and him, trying to kill each other. It was so much fun. You have no idea. It's like, it's a simple game. It's so simple. It's like simplistic to the, like, look up simple or simplistic in the dictionary, and I'm pretty sure Verdun Beta or the Verdun game with the website link will be somewhere in the definition because it's basic, but it's so good. I don't know why. I don't know what it is. I can't even really describe it. I've just been having so much fun playing this game, even though it doesn't look anything fancy. It's just skill-based. I guess that's what it is. It's skill-based. My first match in this, when I was playing with these guys, the very first match I ever played, I won 40-2. Like, and these people that are playing the game right now, like the ones I'm playing with, I actually ended up talking with them for a little bit. They couldn't believe it. They're like, are you just naturally good, or is this like, I don't understand. How are you, like, doing? And it was my first match ever in this game, and I went like 40-something and 2. I destroyed them. I completely obliterated them. It was awesome. It was really fun. It was all about being able to spot a target, line up your shot, and shoot them in the face really fucking accurately. And if you miss, it's all about playing with the fact that you have to cock the weapon back because it's a bolt-action rifle, taking cover, repositioning, try to get a shot off before they do. And it's so great in that nature for deathmatch and stuff, and using bolt-action weapons, that it really gives you a sense of accomplishment whenever you take on several guys by yourself and drop a whole bunch of targets. You feel like a badass, man. You feel like that fucking white ghost guy in Russia who like slaughtered hundreds of Germans with a Mosinee hiding in a bush. You feel like fucking awesome with nothing but iron sights. You're engaging these targets and you're taking them out, and it feels fantastic. Now, of course, the physics and all that stuff isn't super fancy. There's nothing ultra satisfying in the visual aspect. You know, when you see the melee attacks, it's very cheap, very standard of what like you would see a game. But a game being developed by 3 people, man. And I mean, if you want to compare this to some other games that have come out that have had huge budgets compared to this, let's look at Takedown Red Saber, for example. That game had $250,000 fucking funding behind it. And it turned out to be a pile of shit. There are 3 people making Verdun right now, and this game already to me is significantly better. It's more polished, I would say. There's less. I haven't encountered any super game-breaking bugs. I've had just way too much fun with this game. It's simply just great in the way that it plays. It's a World War I shooter. It's based on trench warfare. It's the French versus the Germans. There's a lot of squad tactics in it, which I'm going to get into next. It's great. They've done a good job, and it's 3 fucking people. I'm incredibly proud of these guys to know that they're doing this. I've been craving a shooter like this, a bolt-action, very old-timey World War I-esque shooter where it focuses on squad play and trench warfare, and this game is finally doing it, where there's literally no man's land. Stuff like that are actual realistic elements that happened during World War I. It's here, and it's great. Another example is, let's look at Chivalry Medieval Warfare. They were $50,000. They obviously got they had bonuses because they got more money than their intended goal. They had stretch goals that they reached. But even then, they provided a more polished game to Takedown Red Saber. So my point is that 3 developers already have proven to release a fantastic title in the long run. It's functioning, it's great, you can see the classes I'm picking from, it's detailed, the game mechanics are nice and interesting, keep the game going, keep it fresh, and it does a good job at it. And it's only in beta, and they're still going to improve a lot of aspects. Right now, what they're focusing on, which they've said, every time you launch the game, it'll tell you, this is a beta. Understand, you have to acknowledge, you have to actually be there and acknowledge, yes, I understand this is a beta. Every single time you launch the game, things are subject to change, and right now what they are focusing on is delivering better visuals, better animations, which is fantastic. They got the core gameplay down first, which they did right. They focused on the core gameplay, they got that stuff down right away, and now they're focusing on making the overall game more polished. And I love it. I'm absolutely ecstatic about this game. It's every time I play it, I don't get frustrated. It's very hard to find a game that I don't get frustrated at in regards to some feature or element in the game that just makes me not happy. You know, everyone gets frustrated with video games. Maybe you clearly shoot someone, they don't die, you know, the typical bullshit, oh, that's bullshit, I die type thing. This game is so perfect that I don't get angry, I don't get frustrated with it. If I die, I know a person outshot me, simple as that. I know I positioned myself wrong. I don't get angry from sheer bullshit of anything that happens where I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. Everything that happens in this game makes sense to me. When I get killed, I understand what went wrong. I understand the mistake I made. Whether I position myself in the opening correctly, whether I expose myself on a certain flank, whether all the mistakes I make translate into me dying, and I accept that and I don't get angry about it. It's fun, it's great, the game did a fantastic job in its current state, and I can't wait to see this thing flourish and get better, more polished, because I mean, I can see them turning this into something pretty great. So I'm going to get onto Frontline now, which is the other game type, and how this functions is you have 4-man teams. You have up to 12-player online, which is sufficient enough, and you have 4-player squads. And everyone in that squad has a specific role. So you have the NCO, and his job is to actually control the entire squad. So he gives the waypoints. He's essentially leading your troops in the battle. He's leading his squad and telling them exactly where to attack. He's telling what machine gunner to set up. He's telling the rifleman and the grenadier what they're going to be doing, essentially. He's basically just what you would be in real life, a squad leader. He's going in there to lead you into combat to effectively win the battle. If you have a terrible NCO, chances are you're going to die. You're not going to get very far. So leadership and understanding of the objectives and how to coordinate your team is going to be a huge effective thing in regard to how you actually lead your squad as an NCO. His primary weapon isn't even a primary weapon. He's simply got a sidearm. So he has to close the gap between... He has to close with the enemy. Close with and destroy the enemy. That's one thing everyone knows is the whole... You you know, the purpose of the definition of an infantry soldier, for example. What is the definition of infantry? To close with and destroy the enemy regardless of weather, terrain, time of day, blah blah. You know how it goes. You know the sayings. You can look them up. Every country has their own version. And they have to basically close with and get close to the enemy and destroy them using their sidearms effectively. And the sidearms are pretty effective in close quarters, not mind-blowingly effective, but they're pretty damn effective compared to a bolt-action rifle, especially if the guy with the bolt-action rifle misses you. He has to cock that weapon. It's a very good opportunity for you to get in there and start killing them. Next one is the rifleman. Rifleman simply has a rifle with a bayonet attached. That's it. His job is to simply just kill people endlessly. Close with and destroy the enemy, of course. Trench warfare is all about closing with and destroying the enemy. It's fantastic, and they do a good job of letting you do that in this game. When you run to the next trench and you sprint in there and you start clearing out the trenches, you have this really good feeling inside you, like, holy fuck, I am inside this trench. I am destroying the enemy right now. It feels good. You feel like you're accomplishing something. You feel like you're being surrounded on all sides. You feel like you're overwhelming the enemy. It gives you that sense of accomplishment in that regard, which is nice. So as a rifleman, you just have to get in there and basically bayonet the shit at people, shoot people as much as you can, try to hold off the enemy or take a trench. It is awesome. I love it, and it's such a good, rewarding feeling when you're getting in there and you're just shooting people in the face with rifles. Riflemen. Shoot them in the face. You know how it works. Next one is the gunner. So you have a machine gun. The only way you can effectively use it kind of relates to Red Orchestra, in a sense they have to actually put it on the bipod and set it up, or you're firing that thing from the hip. Machine gunners roll. Not necessarily to kill people. Most people tend to think machine gunners have to be the ones slaughtering dudes. That's not the case. Machine gunners in real life are there to support platoons or fire teams, like sections, that kind of thing. Platoons and sections. There's different varieties. You know, in real life, we have platoon-sized machine guns. We have section-sized machine guns. Each have different fire powers, or each contain a different level of firepower. Now, the gunner's role in this game is quite simply how it is in real life. You gotta lock down a good firing position, hopefully where you're not gonna get destroyed right away, because once your gunner is set up, you are a target for every rifleman out there. He's gonna try to kill you and grenadier. So what you need to do is lock down a good position and just basically start opening up and covering your teammates as they're pushing up, moving from foxhole to foxhole, gaining on those trenches, jumping inside those trenches, and start destroying the enemy effectively and wonderfully as possible, because that's what machine gunners do. Machine gunners suppress the enemy. You can kill targets, obviously, if they start running out in the open, light them the fuck up, clearly. But, I mean, the main role of machine gunner in this game is actually the way it is in real life. It's not stat-driven. It's not about, like, how accurate you are. It's about how effective you are at actually being able to cover your teammates and allowing them to push up and gain vital point, which is the whole objective of Frontline. You're supposed to be able to gain the enemy's sectors. That's the whole point. You're supposed to go up there, grab the enemy sectors, and try to win them all, push them out of the field, and that's how you win the game. Now, Grenadier's role. Grenadier's role is pretty simple. He's got a rifle, but he doesn't have a bayonet attached to it, so his melee attacks are actual melee attacks. You're just doing a rifle butt. Now, you can go in there, and you have grenades, so you can flush out. You can actually plant grenades inside trenches, blow up a whole bunch of guys, just as you would in real life. You also have the ability to blow up obstacles. If there are obstacles in your way, maybe barbed wire, some kind of obstacle that is preventing you from being able to get across, you can set up a charge on it and detonate it and blow it up. Thing I failed to mention earlier is the NCO also has mortars, so he can actually call in a mortar strike once every 60 seconds, which basically rains down a couple mortar rounds on target, so you can actually be effective in that nature. So not only do they have a sidearm, they have mortars as well, so you can effectively bombard your enemy. And every single class has their own trait, essentially, which allows them to kind of perform on their own, to be able to actually offer something to their team. And the thing that also happens in this game is when you're stuck with your teammates, whenever you're near each other and you're working together, you don't have a necessary massive stat boost, but it does improve your character's ability to perform his abilities. He can simply do what he needs to do pretty effectively. Staying together as a squad benefits everyone in your squad. It makes it a lot easier for you guys to coordinate, and actually gives you some boosts, essentially, which help you to perform better, which is what you want, right? You want to be able to outperform the enemy in every way possible. You want to be able to coordinate and flank effectively. As you can see right now, these guys are overrunning us. We end up losing this match, first of all, but they're overrunning us, they're taking us over. Not much I can do about it. I mean, I try to do my best to take out as many as I can, but, you know, I have a bolt-action rifle. If there's some machine guns, which there isn't, because this is World War I, maybe things would have been different. But in the current state, it's fantastic. This game is great. I highly recommend it. If you're looking for a World War I shooter, which there aren't many, this is the only one I'm really aware of, for a cheap price, not expensive. I think I picked this up for $13 on sale on Steam. Early access, just to go in and have fun shooting people with bolt-action rifles and playing a pretty fun, rewarding experience in multiplayer, regardless of the current state of the game. It's still fun, and I think it's still worth it, and I'm really looking forward to seeing the actual final release of this game. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. My name's been PepperBelly. I will see you guys next time.